Welcome to another episode of Mick and the Fat Man, digging the dirt on life, music, and everything. And now here's the Fat Man.
Well, thank you very much, Princess Fanula, our favourite dairy girl. Welcome to Mick and the Fat Man. Welcome to Series 2, episode number 14. Mick, I've been getting into TikTok. I fucking love it. But I'm not getting into just ordinary people doing stuff. I'm into the biggies. I'm into Charlie D'Amelio. Now, she has got 141 million followers.
God almighty.
Unbelievable. Now, I've got a bit of her. She's just trying on some clothes. Have a listen. This is good shit. Trust me.
Another month, another social tourist drop. Let's do a try-on haul. I don't even know where to start. Let's see. Okay, first we have this orange bandeau. Super, super cute. Very comfortable. Okay, I added on this social tourist top. This is adorable. Once again, super, super comfortable, but also look great as a swimsuit cover-up, so keep that in mind. Now, some jeans.
It's good, isn't it?
Okay, these are the jeans.
These are the questions I've always had about what to wear.
They're so cute.
They're so
I'll give
cute.
you a full
Oh, here,
visual.
look at that. You can see. I'll put a link in the show notes to this, Mick. I know you're bloody loving it. I'll send you the link.
It's what I've always wanted.
Now, the other one I'm into, so she's got 141 million.
Almighty.
Addison Rae, she's only got 88 million followers. But
And also ran.
Hi, it's Addison. Make a smoothie with me really quick before I go to the fitting. Also ignore the boob.
she's going to make a smoothie, mate.
And this hair. Right, all you need is a blender,
Yep, blender.
my vital proteins, collagen, dates,
Bit of collagen.
peanut butter, any kind of even if you like almond butter, and then vanilla almond milk, and last but not least, ice. First I just put some ice. And
They're
then
good.
add milk.
People choose to listen to that voice.
This is vanilla.
Vanilla, almond milk, peanut butter.
Not much. Maybe more. Like that much.
I want,
When's the bus come?
I fucking want Vegemite in
I'm only
mine.
gonna do one scoop.
Scoop of protein powder.
I want vodka in
This
mine.
is essential.
She's good, isn't she?
Oh, dreadful.
Good. So that's another really enjoyable one. I'm loving that. I'm loving her. She's got all sorts of stuff in there. She's doing stuff all over the place. But then the other person I've been looking at is The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. Like in some more in my veins, my culture banging with strange. I change the game, so what's my motherfucking name?
Face-off challenge is on. Here we go.
They gon' take your face off, they gon' rumble.
Whoa!
Face off. It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. Like in some more in my veins, my culture banging with strange. I change the game, so what's my motherfucking name? They gon' take your face off, they gon' rumble.
Don't you love The Rock, eh? Now, The Rock, he's not just a bloody movie star or anything like that. You know, he's into the bloody powerlifting and shit. He's got his own tequila company. So you can get a bit of Terramana tequila. He's got energy drinks. So you like your Zoa energy drink, get into that. And he's got his challenge. So he's a busy. He's only got, but he's only got 53 million followers. So he's not really that popular.
Bit of a lightweight, isn't he?
Compared to Charlie, is a third of what Charlie's got. Charlie's got heaps, but she's dressed and she's looking cute in the jeans and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't look cute in jeans.
No.
Not my type.
No. You like Charlie because she's a lovely little thing. She knows how to accessorise.
Yeah.
So it's good.
It's important to know how to accessorise.
Oh yeah. What are you following on there, mate?
Well, I don't follow so much on TikTok because I can
Right.
scarcely spell it. But I was listening to a podcast the other day called
You found a podcast. How did you find it?
I Looked Under P.
Well done, mate. Well done.
And it was the Infinite Monkey Cage, which is a science podcast, and it was very good. And they had Ross Noble, who is a
good.
well-known scientist.
Yes.
And he had two other geologists, and they started off and they said, and and what's your favourite rock? And one scientist said, well, mine's mica, and the other one said, my favourite is some granity type thing. And Ross Noble says, and my favourite rock is Dwayne Johnson. Very funny. It was very funny also to hear him do one about evolution. And he said, I want to be able to, I won't try the Welsh accent, it's too hard work.
No, he's very good.
Yeah, he is very good. He wants to evolve a very small elephant, it's only about a foot high, so that he can have the elephant there and you won't know whether it's an elephant that's up close or one that's a long way away, and that's why it's so small. It's a great podcast. It's really worth listening to.
Yeah, I like the Infinite Monkey Cage. I also listen to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, which is another science podcast. I listen to the BBC Science Podcast. That's a bit more serious.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah. But, no, I'm a big fan of podcasting. Listen to it all the time.
Yep.
All the time, indeed. And anyway, if you want to get into TikTok...
I don't.
You do?
No, I don't.
Oh,
not in the slightest.
Oh, there's Charlie. She's going, wait. I like the
This is
KB Lane.
This is great airplay.
Hold on, KB Lane. Fancy, isn't it? Interesting. Great for radio. Great radio, isn't it?
It's just wonderful stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, Mick, 1001 albums you must hear before you die, edited by Robert Dimery. I've got to sneak over to page 485. And it is Prince, 1999.
Prince. He's had a bit of a run on our podcast lately.
He has. So, 1999, came out in 1982. Art direction, Prince. Produced by Prince. 69 minutes and 27 seconds. Another one of these double albums.
Double albums. Yes.
Another double album. Fifth studio album. Let me just have a... I keep walking away from the microphone, don't I?
You do indeed. It's an audio treat. I think you should walk across from one side of the microphone to the other.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
And people will wonder which corner of the room you're in.
I'm anywhere. And I just thought I'd have a quick look at the... I'm super disorganised, so I apologise to everybody for that. Well, I just wanted to look at the chart success of Prince in Australia. Prince has had 30 singles, of which When Doves Cry went to number one. That's the only number one single he ever had. And he has had 12 albums in the top 100, of which Purple Rain got to number one.
Yeah.
So prolific, another prolific artist, another double album. What's your thoughts, mate?
I must say, well, look, we've been listening to an increasing amount of Prince. He's not someone who would have fit into our normal circle of music that we might listen to. No. But doing this podcast, we've been listening to a lot more of him. He's been an amazing influence on so many artists. It's really quite extraordinary. As a songwriter, he's been instrumental in so many breakthrough albums for people. Two that spring readily to mind are two that we've talked about in the last couple of episodes. Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You.
Yep.
And even if you hadn't heard it, you could tell it was a Prince song because it had the funny spelling on the title.
Yep.
Yeah. Two instead of T-O, it's two, the letter, the number two. And Cyndi Lauper had When You Were Mine on her breakthrough album, which is She's So Unusual. So look, I think Prince is so interesting that we might do an episode on him in the not too distant future.
The thing I like about this album, mate, is that he's still called Prince, so it's much easier to say who the album's by.
Well, exactly. Love Symbol just doesn't do it for me.
Right. Yeah. So I'm glad we still had Prince as a as a musician called Prince.
He soon went back to Prince though.
He did when I don't know what he was thinking though.
It was one of these contractual arguments that these I'm better than everybody artists have with their record label, and he said, "Well, Buggy, you can't enforce a no performing contract on me as Prince if I change my name to something else."
Oh.
But he didn't change it to Terry.
No, I wish he had have.
Yeah, that would have been a whole lot easier to pronounce.
Just Terry. No other name, just Terry.
That's fair. Prince, Terry,
They sound the same. And it'd just be like record by Terry,
Yep.
produced by Terry, artwork Terry.
Yeah, Terry and the Revolution.
But yeah, it's a surprisingly good album. It's got some corker music on it.
It has, yeah. Look, it's a double album with all of the risks that a double album has, but all of it's not bad. It's not my ordinary type of music that I would listen to a lot, but it really has got some great stuff on it.
It's got some long stuff on it as well, so that's how you can get your double album out of it.
Yeah. I'm disappointed though. He's got a double album and there's not one bloody drum solo.
You think he could have got a decent drummer on, because I think it's all drum machines and stuff like that. Although I think he actually did have a band, didn't he? He had a proper
Prince
band.
and the Revolution,
Yeah.
yes.
He's got automatic, which goes for 9 minutes, so that's a bit of a song and a half.
There's an opportunity lost.
Yeah. But he could have had a drum solo and I think a keyboard solo. Could have got Rick Wakeman in to do a bit of a solo.
That would have filled out the sound quite a bit.
He could have had Six Wives of Henry VIII by Prince.
Yeah.
Or Prince, I don't know. Journey to the Centre of Prince.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Look, and the way Prince's focus in all of his songs is sex.
And so he could have done Camelot.
He could have. Or he could have played havoc with the Six Wives of Henry VIII.
That's right. Hey, no, I reckon Camelot would have been perfect for him.
Well, there's certainly a thought, isn't it?
Yep.
Look, this album was his commercial breakthrough, really, because he'd done a couple of albums before, but not been a huge success. But he was well regarded even then, very early in the piece by those in the know, in the industry. Those, Prince is pretty terrific.
He's an amazing songwriter, and he's a good muso too, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he can play and he uses the studio. He's one of those sort of polymaths. You can use that.
Oh, I will. Is he a 2 week in and out type of guy, or is he in there for a while?
If he hasn't done it in 2 weeks, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Sometimes he plays with things a lot and shelves them, but most of the time he works fairly quickly because that's what he likes. He likes music that's going to have an effect on you, not music that's going to weight you down with overly produced, overworked.
And he's got to get out of the studio so he can have sex.
Oh, well, that's every 15 bloody minutes.
He's not a tall bloke, is he?
He's not, no, and that's probably good because they say that tall people are genetic risks because the blood's got a lot further to flow.
Yeah.
All the way to the top of the head and back down again.
Yeah, you can have Marfan syndrome. Tall people often have Marfan syndrome. Not lots, but occasionally.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I would have said if I'd heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a it gives you things. You can end up with abdominal aortic aneurysms. But anyway.
Oh no, I just hate that. I remember when I had one, and it was just awful.
Oh, it's so annoying. And if they burst, you're a dead man. So quick.
Oh, yeah, well, mine burst, and I didn't worry about it too much. But it was. But it was annoying.
Oh yeah. If you see a big, tall, lanky family, they've probably got Marfans.
Yeah. Yeah. And none of them is going to record 1999 by Prince or anything like it.
No. In fact, they're a bit serious, you Marfans people.
Yeah.
They're not like Prince fans. They're Marfans.
Yeah, that's true. This album, you know how we've often talked about how albums can't, in my humble view. Humble being nothing but humble.
Fucking humble view. Your humble view.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that fucking framed, mate.
That albums really shouldn't be in the top anything at all when they've just been released. They can't be considered as an all-time great until they've had some all-time.
Yeah.
This one made it in 2004, made it into the Rolling Stone greatest hits of all time, greatest albums of all time, the top 500. At number 163. 16 years later, in 2020, it went up to 120. So it's actually improved over time.
After the Rolling Stones' last list, I think it could have been a lot higher.
Well, there
'Cause
was a
there's
lot
some
of crap
shit
in
above
there.
it.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Stuff which hadn't stood the test of time, which won't even appear in the next bloody list. I can't wait till that comes out, probably in another 5 years or so.
Yeah, and then we'll have just all boy bands.
Well, at least we'll have something to say about them.
We might have a bit of Korean boy band action by then.
They've always been a favourite of mine.
I know.
Particularly when they're girls.
I know you love a boy band.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Runaways, the Go-Go's. Yeah, they're my favourite types of boy bands. Yep. Some of the songs on this album, as compared to the Runaways and the Go-Go's, look, they're standards now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, 1999.
Yep.
Tonight we're gonna party like it's 1999. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and years later, that song got a resurgence in interest in 1999. You know, with all the kerfuffle about Y2K and all the planes are going to crash out of the sky and there'll be no ice cream available and all that sort of thing.
What's the truth about the year 2000? Was it that the Millennium projects were so good they stopped everything from being destroyed, or was it just bullshit? That's the question.
Yeah, I suspect the latter.
I don't know. People made a lot of money out of it.
They did. There was certainly, you couldn't get a consultant for love nor money for the 2 years before 2000 as they tried to redo all of their programs.
I think the major problem was in COBOL code, where they didn't have their date was only 2 digits.
I've always viewed that. Yep.
But other programs wasn't. I don't think it was an issue. But I think the old COBOL, which is a lot of what the banks were doing, a lot of the old bank programs were COBOL. Still are.
Yeah.
They still have the same back end in old COBOL. Anyway, there you go.
COBOL or not, they haven't stopped the banks from making shitloads of money.
That's not.
So why would they change it?
If you don't have shares in your bank, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I'm going to take all of my my Bitcoin and buy some bank shares.
You've already given your Bitcoin away to buy the bridge, mate.
Well, when I get all the revenue from that.
When you get the revenue from the bridge,
yeah.
That's the other Terry, isn't it?
Yeah. Funny how many people I meet called Terry.
I know.
It's really quite extraordinary, isn't it?
It is.
Little Red Corvette.
Yeah.
That's my favourite Prince song. Yeah. Little Red Corvette. And he compares, what?
I'm humming.
Is that what that was?
That was a hum.
I thought you were in trouble and
I was
waving.
excited.
Not drowning, waving, yes. He compares his girlfriend to a fast performance car. And we talked about this one in Songs About Cars.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a great song. It really is a lot of fun. It's very, very light, poppy, bouncy, without being throwaway. It's really, really good. The sound on the album, very influential. Songs like those two, for instance. You can still hear that all the way into the 90s. And even today you can hear echoes of this album and songs like that, funky arrangements. Certainly that mid-80s R&B wouldn't have happened without the Prince sound.
He he wrote for so many other peoples, didn't he?
Yeah.
Peoples.
He did.
Plural.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds a bit like Warren Zevon wrote for so many people as well.
Well, exactly. Yeah, and another great Kiss song, not on the another great Prince song, not on this album, of course, but Kiss.
What did he write for Kiss?
No, not for Kiss. He wrote Kiss for Tom Jones. I think I better dance now.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Maybe that's what's wrong with Kiss. They're doing their last tour, and they haven't yet picked up a Prince song.
They should just do the song Kiss.
Kiss by Kiss. It's got opportunities, I think.
No, I think that's what they should do.
Yeah. And here's a song written for us, about us, by Prince.
Are they all getting back together again to do a...
I'm not sure which makeup they're going to be wearing and who's going to be wearing it.
Yeah.
And
there's a bit of animosity in that band, wasn't there?
I think, yes. They all didn't quite believe everything. Even Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, yes. The two mainstays of the group. Yeah, they're forever bluing. They certainly are under no delusions about what they want out of rock and roll, money and sex. I heard an interview with them, and they were talking about how groupies played such a major part of their touring experience.
Is that right?
Yeah. And Paul Stanley said, it's great when all these younger people come out to see us play, and then they could even be ours. I thought, perhaps not. Jesus.
That's sus, isn't it?
It's sus, yeah.
Sus prick.
In case anybody hasn't noticed, Kiss is not one of our favourite bands, and they're only marginally better than Jeff Buckley.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a call.
Jesus, you'll bloody get us killed, mate.
Yeah, we'll certainly get some flame out emails now.
Yep.
Mick and the Fat Man at Gmail.
Give it to us, baby.
Yeah, this album. Look, Prince, obsession with sex. Small man syndrome. He used to love to put it about, and no matter what, all of his songs were about it. All of his imagery and everything he spoke about. Not everything, but certainly a lot. His songs were certainly about sex. There's one he did in 1991 called Get Off.
Yep.
Get off, 23 positions in a one-night stand. And he goes on to say, now move your big ass round this way so I can work on that zipper, baby.
He, I was reading somewhere that he actually really kicked off the whole parental advisory stickers on albums.
Probably wouldn't be surprising.
No, I read it somewhere. I don't know where I read it.
With lyrics like that?
With lyrics like that, and plenty of others. Yeah, he was a mad rooter, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's get amongst it regularly. That's what touring's all about.
Yeah.
And not touring, and being at home, and going to the shops.
And taking, what did he die of? Opioid, didn't he? Opioid overdose.
I think so, yeah.
Bit of a waste of human life.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame.
There's a bit. Oh, he had a bad back, though, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's where a lot of those opioids came from.
Backs.
From backs, yeah. I had a friend who had a legitimate medical condition, and the doctor put him on one of those tablets in that group, and even after the condition itself cleaned up, he said, Jesus, they bloody hang on. They get a hold of you and they won't let go. And this is prescribed legitimate stuff.
Oh, that's been the whole problem.
Yeah.
We have spoken about that in episode number something or other.
Absolutely, yeah. Certainly not good.
No, not good at all. Anyway, not a bad album at all. Highly recommend it.
Yep.
And we'll move on. It's rattling around. I can hear it. Bang, 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 bang. It's down there. I can see it moving up and down. Mick, what do you got hidden away in the Glowbite school bag this week?
I'm surprised you can see the bag this week, mate, because it's got a mask on.
What sort of mask?
Big mask.
Is that right?
Yeah. And inside, hidden behind that mask, is Peter Gabriel.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Glowbite school bag mask on top of a Glowbite school bag.
Ah, that explains a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very good, mate. That's very good.
Big Pete.
Yep. Peter Gabriel. One of those people. A very small bunch of people who've had two huge stages of their career with two different musical outlets. First of all, he was with Genesis during what is arguably their best period, up until Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, so mid-70s.
Just quickly remind me again, what's Lamb Lies Down on Broadway about?
It's about this fellow Rail who goes through a dimensional black screen that falls across Broadway, and he drops his graffiti can and goes through, and he goes and meets a series of semi-supernatural creatures, and until he finds his brother.
What happens to his penis?
Apparently, he starts to turn into a slipper man, which is a person whose flesh has fallen off their body, and the only way that he can stop that process is by removing his penis and putting it into a plastic tube, which he carries around his neck.
There you go.
Yep. And then a raven comes along and picks it up, steals it from him. And
Makes sense.
He's very disappointed about that.
Makes sense. Detachable penis.
Yep. I know you've always been impressed with that storyline.
I do. I love it. I love your telling of it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, back on to Peter Gabriel. Tell me about Pete.
Yeah. So Peter, you'll recall that when Genesis formed, they were all young fellows. They were in private school in England, in Charterhouse School, and so they'd been in Genesis all together since finishing school, since finishing sixth form, and then university, of course. And so they played late 60s, early 70s, played together. Phil Collins is another alumni from that band, and Phil's another very talented young man. And Peter Gabriel led Genesis into a phase very costume heavy, involving masks and increasingly elaborate stage settings and things like that. He used voices on stage, and it was a lot of the appeal of the band. The songs were increasingly elaborate. I've heard them described as Baroque songs about the one that we've just described, which was a whole double album. Again, double albums keep cropping up.
They do.
Yeah. And some of the earlier albums, The Return of the Giant Hogweed, a plant that starts invading where people live, and The Return of the Giant Hogweed. Lots of other stories in a vaguely sciencey, indeterminate sort of vein. Lots of complex time signatures, fantastic musicality by all the people in that band, and we recently went and saw Steve Hackett from that band who played live, and wasn't that a fantastic show?
Amazing. He's just getting on a bit, but he did a great job. Thank you, Mr. Hackett.
Mr. Hackett, yeah, and people say, well, why do you want to go and see him? He's only one part of the band. But, by gee, when you wrote the guitar parts for a band like Genesis, I think you got a right to play him live, and he did, and it was excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Peter Gabriel. So Peter, like a lot of these like a lot of musicians, he felt he had other stuff to do. He didn't want to be trapped within the context of Genesis in a box he'd made himself. Yeah, he didn't want to be remembered as the man who wears the masks and the costumes. And even the band was getting a bit pissed off with him, with these increasing costumes. They had had an album earlier called Foxtrot, which showed a fox in a red dress standing by the edge of the ocean. So part of Gabriel's costume on stage for part of his time with them was a red dress and a fox head. And I think you can see where this goes.
I think the Slipper Man outfit was the one that really did it for him.
He had to be lowered into it by elaborate wiring arrangements, and he couldn't move.
He couldn't move. He couldn't actually hold his head up.
Yeah. So it creates an environment where perhaps his other skills, the skills that he felt he had, weren't being shown. And it was overshadowing the music, both for him and for the rest of the band, who were all, as I said, fantastic musicians. So, but leaving Genesis was a brave move. They were at the top of their game. They were really Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, top-selling album, top-selling tour of the US. They'd finally cracked the US, obviously in the rest of the civilized world. They were highly regarded. Australia, Europe, England, they had it all there. So Gabriel leaving Genesis, I remember he left in 1975, and I remember the headline in New Musical Express: Gabriel quits Genesis. In retrospect, perhaps not an innovative headline at all, really, but I can remember seeing it.
It could have been something a little bit more exciting now. The Slipper Man.
Yeah, he slips out of costume.
Slipper Man leaves Genesis.
Absolutely.
Or Genesis to grow another day.
Well, exactly, yeah. Could have thought about it, yeah. So he had some self-doubt as he'd done it. Yeah. Because obviously he's jumping off with no parachute. So and he thought to himself, he said later in interviews, that maybe people were reevaluating Genesis and thinking that I was just the guy who wore the masks. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that would be a big problem.
Because he was the guy who was.
But he was also the guy who wrote the songs.
Sure.
And sang and came up with the concepts for stage shows and so. But nonetheless, I can see exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He met Bob Ezrin, and Bob Ezrin is no stranger to this program.
No.
And we've talked
popping up.
He does indeed, and he's one of the gun producers of the rock era, certainly in the early to mid 70s. Pink Floyd, Kiss, who we don't like anyway, but that doesn't matter. Lou Reed, and Peter Gabriel.
In fact, he pops up all over the place.
He does indeed, yes, very much so. Now, Bob saw Peter Gabriel before any discussion about whether he was going to produce his first album. He saw him in Toronto when Genesis supported Lou Reed.
Oh, okay.
Now that'd be a bill I would have liked to have seen. You know, there's a match set of Genesis and Lou Reed. Yes,
Yes, interesting.
Yeah, I can't see that one happening.
No.
And he thought to himself, he was in there talking to Lou Reed about Berlin, and he said, "Boy, I want to meet that kid with the flowers on his head." Yeah. So Gabriel leaves Genesis, and he waited until 1977 to record his first album.
So 2 years.
2 years, yeah. So obviously there's all sorts of speculation in the press, you know, has Gabriel blown it? You know, what's he going to do? There's increasing interest in
what was he doing, do you know?
He was writing songs, thinking about the material he was going to do, because he was trying to be very careful not to fall into simply becoming Genesis Light.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And everything he wrote and everything that does ultimately appear on that album is so un-Genesis as to be extraordinary. That really shocked everybody at the time.
Yeah.
So we get ready for Gabriel to record his album, and his people contacted Bob Ezrin's people, who was, as I say, one of the go-to producers of the 70s and 80s, and Ezrin agreed because he'd seen the bloke with the flowers on his head, and he agreed to produce the album. So he understood that Gabriel wanted to be seen as an individual talent, and do it on his own. Now, that's a real big leap, and that's an obvious way to do it, to go to Bob Ezrin, who is so opposite to what Genesis did.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, very rock orientation, very straight down the line stuff. Gabriel, and it was a big jump for Ezrin too, because Gabriel's style was very, very different from Lou Reed, Pink Floyd. He did The Wall, Alice Cooper. Yeah, There's no Department of Youth coming out of Peter Gabriel. That's for sure and certain.
No, not at all.
Yes. So Ezrin put a band together of leading American session musos. People like Tony Levin, who spent quite a bit of time in King Crimson.
Yep.
Alan Schwantzberg, who was the first drummer for Gabriel. He was replaced for the next album and for around about 10 years by Jerry Marotta. Larry Fast on keyboards.
Could have got a drum solo though, which would have been good. Could have an album with a double album with a drum solo on one side.
It's an opportunity missed.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's not going to go back now.
No, too late.
No. And Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner.
Oh,
Those names who keep cropping up again.
Journeyman.
Yeah, they are indeed journeymen, to say the very least. Now, Gabriel said that he said later that it was very, very scary working with session musos, because he'd only worked with the people that he'd known since they were kids.
Yeah, right.
So, and I can see his point. So Ezrin, being American and very direct, was blunt and almost bullying the way that he produces stuff. Because,
is that right?
Yeah, well, we've seen what he does.
Yeah.
And, there's definitely a Bob Ezrin feel to the albums.
Yeah.
So Gabriel wasn't used to that, but he felt that the band itself was too American leaning. So he said, "Can I have at least one Brit?" So they got Robert Fripp. Fripp from King Crimson,
yep.
And who was just on his way after that album to record Heroes with David Bowie.
Oh.
So we're talking about a gun.
So he
player.
did Gabriel before he did Heroes. Oh, that's interesting. Both with Ezrin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's interesting.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And then it came right through to the coronavirus lockdown, doing crazy shit on YouTube with his missus.
With Toya Wilcox, yes, indeed. Yes. Gabriel, through the 2 years, as we've already identified, was trying to write stuff that was worlds away from, I've read them described as prog epics, progressive music. Well, some of the Genesis stuff is really long songs, other than Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, which was deliberately writing songs to be shorter for the American market.
Yes.
But 10-minute songs was nothing unusual for Genesis prior to Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
No, that's right.
Yeah. So for you and I, listening to music, that album that they created was a dream. Yeah. Great guitar work, strong riffs, variety of styles. Yeah. Funnily enough, one of the weakest songs for my money on the album was the one they released as the single, Modern Love. And it's not a weak song, but in that mix, I don't think it was the strongest. Ironically, the clip for that song, I don't know if you remember it, it's him at the top of an escalator wearing a bloody mask.
And
he had a hockey mask on.
No,
I don't recall the clip? Yeah.
I don't recall the clip.
Yeah. And very rocky and highlighted Hunter and Wagner.
However,
Of course
I
it
think this is unforgettable.
How can you go wrong with that? Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
it's just wonderful playing. And that song, so un-Genesis for a start, top 10 hit in the UK and the US. It established that Peter Gabriel was here and he didn't need Genesis backing him up.
Yep.
It talked about the split from Genesis, not in a direct way, but it referenced it. And one of the lyrics says, "So I went from day to day, though my life was in a rut, till I thought of what I'd say, which connections I should cut."
Oh, yeah.
And that's definitely about him leaving Genesis. There's other great tracks on the album. Here Comes the Flood and Slow Burn, both epic, but not in a progressive Genesis way. They were slow. Both exploded with sound. Both started very quietly and then exploded with a huge band sound. And Here Comes the Flood with the choir. Yeah, the band and some augmentation with vocals. Lord, here comes the flood. But very ambitious type of songs. They weren't the type of stuff that was appearing on albums at the time. No, not at all. Another thing that Ezrin liked about Gabriel is that when Gabriel was talking to him about signing up for the album, he came to Ezrin's house and sang Here Comes the Flood unaccompanied in Bob Ezrin's living room. So Ezrin was in the middle of both doing a Kiss and a Cooper album, but he couldn't get Flood out of his head that night. So he says, okay, here we go. We've got something happening here. This is really, really good. I've talked about barbershop quartets in the past, and we don't have barbershop quartets out here in Australia. It's just not a thing.
Not really.
It's pretty much American.
Yeah.
And one of the songs on the album, Excuse Me, is barbershop quartet style. It's got Gabriel leading it, but it's got the other vocalists on the album backing him up. Excuse Me, you're wearing out my joie de vivre. I'm not the man I used to be. I want to be alone. And then he goes on to call LA Los Angeles.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Ezrin described recording Excuse Me as thrilling. And just to keep the difference going, there's a bloody tuba on it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, we must have a listen to that. I will have a listen to that.
I think you should. Humdrum, again, a beautiful song, but almost narrated. I saw the man at JFK. He took your ticket yesterday in the humdrum.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. Great album.
It is a great album, yeah. Reviewers weren't always on side with it. Many called it unfocused and said Gabriel was trying to do too many things, which probably got some basis in fact.
But if he spent 2 years writing, he's probably written a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And getting that onto an album may not end up being, because it's not really going to be his first album, is it? Although it is his first album, it's not his first album, and recording.
He's an established personality in in the industry,
and so he's sort of picking and choosing, and he's probably got a fairly large selection of material. But anyway,
well, that would be true. But he then had to go through anything that sounded like it could belong on a Genesis album and jettison that straight away.
Yeah,
which he did. This is one fantastic album. He didn't want to be in the costume, so when he toured the album to support it, he went out in a grey tracksuit.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. So he didn't look like he came from Wentworthville, but it was a unadorned costume. Just him basically in a pair of pants and a jumper, the same thing. So freedom of movement. He was able to move around the stage a lot and do the Peter Gabriel thing rather than the Peter Gabriel singing with a mask on thing.
Yeah, right. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Now the cover photo, the album it's a beautiful album. We may put in the notes a couple of links to the pictures on the album because it's very, very important to Gabriel re-establishing a different view of himself. And the picture of there's a picture of a car with Gabriel inside behind the glass with the reflection on it. It's Hypnosis, which again, fantastic fantastic record covers. So even the records where they do the cover where the album's crap, still a great cover. And that particular car, for those who are interested in automotive trivia, is a Lancia Flavia, owned by Storm Thorgerson, the guy who did all the designs. So he was Hypnosis.
Yeah, because it's an interesting bonnet when you look at it, because it's sort of... Yeah, anyway, it's very square.
Yeah, it very much is, isn't it? Yeah. I often wondered what it was. I thought it was a BMW at first, but no, it's an Italian car.
But you look at where the bonnet is, it's a odd sort of location, so it's quite wide.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, very, very true.
Spend your time looking at the cover, folks, and get back to us on whether you think it's looks like a BMW at all.
I think so. Yeah. Now, another album that was instrumental in breaking Peter Gabriel as Peter Gabriel and not Masked Man was his third album, which he released. His first 4 albums were all called Peter Gabriel, just to keep things simple.
Yeah, and like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Well, exactly the same as Led Zeppelin. And they've been dubbed by the picture that's on the cover. So the first Peter Gabriel album gets called Car. The second one is called Scratch. Third one is called Melt. And this is the one we want to talk about, which is a stunning album.
It is.
Where the first one was Peter Gabriel throwing lots of paint at the canvas and seeing what he liked and what worked. Melt is the first consistent album that he did that established Peter Gabriel as a rock artist with a lot to say all by himself.
It's very cohesive.
Oh, it's cohesive, consistent, wonderful playing. Many of the same players as on the first album, but it's much more rhythm focused. So, in fact, he wrote the rhythms before he wrote the melodies.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So it's an interesting way of writing. It is.
There's some amazing songs on this album.
There is indeed. Yeah.
My darling wife and I used to listen to this a lot back in the day when we were out in the bush, driving around in the bush.
As you would, and as you should.
Yep, indeed. It's a good bush song.
Yeah. So if you're going to go and have a listen, it's either in the show notes, or if you're going to jump onto your Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, just Peter Gabriel Melt and just play it. Just have if you've not heard it before, I'll be very surprised, but I'll be that you will be thanking me for listening to it. The different production to Bob Ezrin. It's a fellow by the name of Steve Lillywhite and Hugh Padgham. Hugh Padgham, he of having a lot to do with Elton John's first 8 albums.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, what, as a producer?
A producer, engineer, working in the studios with him. Yep.
Interesting.
All of these people, they're all inbred. Yeah, they all they all work on each other's albums. So Lillywhite also did War by U2, Sunday Bloody Sunday, New Year's Day, Two Hearts Beat as One. So if you know a bit of early U2, you'd know those songs, and you'd know the type of sound that Steve Lillywhite's going to get on an album. Steve Lillywhite, just to keep links, he was also married to Kirsty MacColl.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Ah.
And we talked about Kirsty last year when she died when she was struck by a powerboat in Mexico. And then she was, with that accident was corruptly covered up by the Mexican government and the multi-billionaire family of the man driving the boat.
That's right, yes.
It's just an outrage.
Very dodgy.
And, so there's all of those connections there. The songs on this particular album, you're going to know some of these rather than the Salisbury Hill from the first album. From this album, you're going to know more. You're going to know Biko. You will have heard of Biko. It's about Steve Biko, who was killed by the South African Security Police in 1977, who it sort of highlights the difference in South Africa then and now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
And that particular song about Steve Biko, and it's about Steve Biko, who was the activist, who fell out of a window by mistake. There was a major influence in South Africa dropping apartheid.
Yeah.
That song alone, and that's really a big slate to have on your board.
And I read that he in fact wrote the song off a newspaper article.
Yes.
Not sort of reading in depth about Steve Biko or anything like that. Like, here's a song.
Yeah.
It's a marvellous song.
It is. And the lyrics, so few words, so much emotion and so much story. Yeah, it starts off September 77, Port Elizabeth weather fine. It was business as usual in police room 619. And that 619 obviously was the room that he fell out of. And it's Gabriel's first overtly political song, and it led to his later involvement in human rights causes.
So Mick, for mine, one of the best songs on this album is Family Snapshot. It's very powerful, very, very powerful song. And from my understanding, it's about the assassination of Kennedy.
Well, that's something we used to talk about when we were young. And to a point, that's okay. It does include some references to Kennedy, but it's based on a book called An Assassin's Diary by Arthur Bremer. Now, George Wallace, around the same time, was a racist governor of Alabama, and he was shot, right? But he wasn't killed. So the bloke who wanted to kill George Wallace, the assassin, he wrote this long strangled manifesto, as they do, loony bin stuff, and that was turned into the Assassin's Diary. So Gabriel picked that up and he wanted to write a song about an assassination from the assassin's point of view. Yes. So he took all of that stuff and he put in a couple of Kennedy things just to help it roll along. And that's what that song's about. So it's not anyone in particular, but mostly it's about the guy who tried to kill George Wallace.
Yeah, because it's like this first-person account of me killing another person. It's a very powerful song.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
But I think the other one that the opening song, the Intruder, is just this the atmosphere of that song is intense.
Scary, isn't it? Yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah.
I just and the scratching on the guitar strings. I think it's the pick on the guitar strings, and it's just really atmospheric song.
It is, and the whole album. One of the things that doing this podcast has actually forced me to do is go back and take a look at albums in their entirety. Now, I love this album, and there's not a dud song on it, and I love every one of those songs for the musicality on it, but I've gone back and had a listen to the whole album. Has a theme of outsiders, people not belonging, not being involved. Intruder starts that. Not One of Us, No Self-Control, Biko, Family Snapshot, the man who's the outsider and wants to kill the governor. So there's this extraordinary tension in the whole album, in the lyrical component of the album, of not belonging.
All right, here's the big one. Yep. What's Games Without Frontiers about?
Games Without Frontiers is another Gabriel political song where he refers the political... 70s, if you go back and wanted to have a look at it, the 70s is... all sorts of political BS that was carrying on about the European Common Market, this, that, or the other. Complaining about Russia, complaining about countries, other countries complaining about other countries, and Gabriel thought it was all very childish, so he wanted to write a song about how childish war is. Right. So very successful single, and it was the successful single from the album.
But all the people that are mentioned in there, are they real people? Did you... Hans plays with Lottie, Lottie plays with Jane, Jane's plays with Billy, Billy's happy again.
They're all European, just common names. I think he made a mistake by using the word Adolf. Adolf builds a bonfire, Enrico plays with it.
Yes.
So by saying Adolf, it then plays it back, oh God, he's talking about Hitler.
Yeah.
Because that's a common name, but he spells it different. It's at PH rather than F, and I think that's probably the one, albeit very, very minor quibble I would have with that song and anything on the album. That if he'd left that off, people wouldn't have automatically jumped to conclusions about it being about Hitler and the Nazis, because it's not.
Right.
One interesting point about that song, and again, I think most people would know that song, Games Without Frontiers.
I think so.
It marks the first time that Kate Bush and Gabriel worked together. So there's a middle eight where it goes Je sans frontières, which is Kate Bush.
Ah, there you go. I'll just give a little bit of it here.
Listen to that cowbell.
The cowbell. We need more cowbell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Kate Bush, yeah. So he went and reprised that collaboration with Kate Bush a couple of times through their careers. He worked on some Kate stuff. And on the fifth album, So, they did Don't Give Up, which was a joint vocal.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful song. It's one of the loveliest songs that he and she has done.
And it's still the best. She still does the best version of it with him. I mean, I know he obviously doesn't take her live.
Yeah.
But I've looked at quite a few of his concerts just online.
Yeah.
And she still has the best voice for that song.
Yeah. I've got a lot of quibbles with Kate Bush, but that's not one of them.
You can't have quibbles for Kate Bush. She's my friend.
She's your friend, is she? This song was sensational.
50 words for snow is a bit fucking weird.
Yeah. I didn't think much of Ariel either. I know you did. I didn't think much of it. Yeah. Willie Nelson and Sinead O'Connor covered this song.
Oh,
and
did they?
Yeah. And
Willie Nelson and Sinead O'Connor. I don't know if you can find it on YouTube, but Sinead, again, one of those wayfish sorts of voices when she's not screaming in pure agony and pain. Which is common.
It's common, yeah. Or ripping up pictures of the Pope on TV.
Yeah.
She does that. She's a bit loony.
That's what she does.
Yep.
No, I can't find it.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Have a look at some other time. But I thought that was an interesting cover and interesting people. Willie Nelson is really interesting. You think he's just a country hick, but he's really done some really good stuff through his career and been willing to take risks.
And he smokes a lot of drugs.
Well, of course, yeah. Sometimes the risks he takes are involved with that. The cover of the album, The Melted Face.
Yeah.
That was done. It was a technique that existed when they had Polaroid film, and it's very difficult to get Polaroid film these days.
It is.
Yes, indeed, because you can still get a digital edition for your camera that'll take Polaroid film, but it's not common. It's not easily and readily available. So what they did was they took the Polaroids, and I think everyone who's listening to our podcast would be able to remember what Polaroids were. You take the picture, and before it's set, when you wave it around in the air to dry it, before it's set, you manipulate the film and stretch it or run your fingers down it or whatever to give an altered image, and then you rephotograph the altered image.
Oh, okay.
That's a technique that's used by some huge photographers, such as Lewis Morley.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Lewis Morley, but he's famous. He's got some wonderful images of Michael Caine, Clint Eastwood in Where Eagles Dare, Christine Keeler. He did the Christine Keeler shot.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And he did the nude shot of Sherbet. Have you ever seen that shot?
I remember that.
It's hilarious. You can't see a thing, but they're all in the nud.
Yeah, it's
and it was in the Clio magazine. He did that.
Yeah,
Great sense of humour, Lewis. He was a really funny guy. So we've got an original Morley in that style where he photographed my wife and took the Polaroid, stretched it around a little bit, and scratched cat whiskers onto it and he called it Cat Anna.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, where's that? Oh, don't worry about it. I'll have a look at it next time I do.
Yeah, I can show you that. So, So Lewis was a lot of fun.
Yeah, right. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Now, this album...
just before you go, I'm just thinking about film. Kodak.
As you do. They're gone, aren't they?
Yeah, Kodak invented the digital sensor for cameras.
Oh, yes.
Made a
Talk about a wasted opportunity.
Decision, sold it to Sony potentially. I can't remember exactly who they sold it to. They sold it because they said, this is not our core business. Our core business is Kodak photographic paper.
Great decisions of our times.
They actually invented the digital sensor for cameras and sold it and stuck with paper.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, story goes on.
Silly sausage.
Interesting connection to Kodak. Linda Eastman. Linda McCartney.
Oh, yeah.
Was a member of the family that owned Kodak.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just it's just a connection there. I thought I'd mention that.
Fair enough too.
It's really good. So the album has a lot of strange sounds on it. Yeah, and as you mentioned, the scratching of the fretboard and that sort of thing on Intruder, where it starts. Gabriel, after they'd recorded the album, he was signed to Atlantic to release that, and he met Amit Ertegun, who was the founder of Atlantic.
Mm.
Ertegun asked him if he'd been hospitalised recently, with the insinuation that, "Are you all right? Are you mad?"
Really?
Yeah, he didn't like the album. He thought the sounds on it were strange. He implied basically that Gabriel had lost the plot.
Wow.
Through medications.
Wow.
So they dropped him. Polygram picked it up, and then got some success with the album itself and with the single Games Without Frontiers. So Atlantic's such a successful label, and all the American soul singers. For them to make such a blatant move, it's not quite as dramatic, but it's akin with the guy who said, "Nah, the Beatles will never go anywhere. We're not signing them," to Decca.
That's right.
Yeah. Goodbye, Decca.
Great eras of people's times.
Yeah. So this album was a high point for Gabriel, but I don't think he did. He did other great stuff, but he didn't do another album. A bit like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road for Elton John. This was the highlight. The album itself, fan-bloody-tastic. He did some other great things, particularly on So. The fifth album, and Up later on, but never a consistent, dynamically amazing album like this one.
No, I think you're right. I think this is probably the top of the pops.
Yep.
Without doubt. In fact, I was looking at the title. Got a review in there, and this is what the first line of that says: "Generally regarded as Peter Gabriel's finest record."
Yeah.
His third album finds him coming into his own, crafting an album that's artier, stronger, and more song-orientated than before.
Yeah. So extraordinary stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he has some great songs. I think if we're going to move on to those, what's the next album? So, isn't it?
No, Mudman is the next one. And
Mudman.
Yeah, that's number 4. It's got San Jacinto.
Yeah, I know one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about So,
which
has got the film clips that came out of that.
Sledgehammer. Yes.
Those film clips are amazing. There's 3 film clips that are amazing, and he really shot to the top of the tops because of those. But the songs are good, but they're not his greatest songs, but they're still great songs.
Look, Sledgehammer would still have to list as one of his greatest songs. I'm talking about an album versus a song.
Yeah, true.
Sledgehammer is, in my humble opinion, one of Gabriel's best songs. He actually is on record saying to himself, "I wanted to light a song. I wanted to let my dance side go."
Oh, okay.
Right. Now, the film clip was so innovative.
It was amazing.
It is amazing for those who don't...
Stop motion thing, isn't it?
Yeah, stop motion. For those who don't know it, it's got things like a train set being built around his head, and the train goes around his head.
Yeah.
It's really quite extraordinary.
Impressive.
Yeah,
impressive.
The song itself's got an insistent, irresistible beat. "I wanna be your sledgehammer." Awesome film clip. The production, perfect production. Really crisp sound with all sorts of different
Who
bits.
produced that? Do you remember?
I can't. I'd have to go and check.
Yeah, it's all right. Just interested.
That clip was so good that my favourite import store in Sydney, Red Eye Records, I went in there, as I was wont to do.
Yeah.
And they said, "Have you seen the film clip for Sledgehammer?"
Oh, was that right?
Yeah. Chris asked me in there, so I thought, you've made it when these guys who are cooler than cool think that your film clip is fantastic. Gabriel also, he was willing to try a whole lot of different things.
Oh, I just looked up who the producer was. I did know this, actually.
You did?
Daniel Lanois.
Of course. Bloody yes. Yeah. I did have that in the back of my head. I didn't want to get into a list of producers who've produced Peter Gabriel, but he certainly had the best of them.
I know, but that's an interesting way.
Yeah.
So he rises to the top and to the bottom, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah. He's everywhere. He re-recorded Melt in 1980 in German.
Did he?
Yeah, it was called Ein Deutsches Album.
You have it, don't you? You had it.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
And he sang it all in German
It
himself.
was all and re-recorded.
Oh.
Very similar to Melt, But, you can't recognise from the songs like Intruder is, pardon the German, Mr. Frankfurt, Eindringling, and No Self-Control is Keiner Selbstkontrolle.
You don't have to sound like the Fuhrer.
I thought it was more like Schultz. And Games Without Frontier is Spiel ohne Grenzen. Now, you'd know that, wouldn't you?
I know that one off by
And
heart.
Biko is Biko.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like Terry.
But he's probably inspired by Bowie, who, as we know, re-recorded Heroes in German and in Germany and came up with Helden.
That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
you've said that before, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. So look, doing that, to be able to take your best English stuff and reproduce it strongly in another language, that's a whole different level of control over yourself and your work. It's just fantastic stuff.
I've never read this before. Have you heard this? So with Sledgehammer, an Otis Redding-inspired soul pop raver.
Yeah, dance song.
Yeah.
I want to let my dance side go free.
Yeah.
Now, he's gone a long way from Return of the Giant Hogweed.
Yeah. And obviously, as you said before, there's Don't Give Up on there with Kate Bush.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other stuff that's it is a great. I still love it as an album to listen to, but I would suggest that Melt is definitely the top of the pops as far as probably hardcore Gabriel fans are concerned.
I would think so. Look, if you're not a hardcore Gabriel fan, have a bloody listen to that album. You will, to paraphrase Molly Meldrum, do yourself a favour. You're not going to be disappointed. It's going to be one of the best albums you'll ever listen to.
You've got to watch his stuff, some of his concerts. They're up on YouTube. And then they're more recent. And so it's the older Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
But they're great concerts. He has a great stage setup.
He does.
Yeah. Moving footways and things like that. And I love the way they've really done a lot of work to get the choreography right, because they've got the walk, because they're walking around a circle, and it's just brilliant. And the one where I can't remember the name, which song it is, where he's on the telephone and he's dragging the telephone.
Yeah.
There's some great concert stuff. I would love to have seen some of them.
Yeah. Pity we're not visual.
Yeah. Pretty. Yeah, that would it's really good. So I'll put one out and stick a link in the show notes so you can have a look at it, because it's a.
I think you should. Yeah, that'd be good.
There's some good concerts out there that are actually full concert is freely available on YouTube to listen to and watch.
Yeah, and you will not be disappointed.
No,
I know we're out of time. I'll give you a couple of quick things to round us off.
Go.
Okay, Gabriel very rarely does covers, but he did an album of covers called Scratch My Back. He did Heroes, which you and I both thought was fairly unimpressive. But he did one absolutely stunning cover called The Book of Love. Now, there's a UK band called the Magnetic Fields who did this song.
Yeah.
And it's a nice song, the Magnetic Field. The Magnetic Fields did. Yes, I'll try and speak properly, put my teeth back in, yeah. But Gabriel's version, it's absolutely... The book of love is long and boring.
Don't do that, Mick.
No, I can't sing like Gabriel, can I? I can't sing like anybody. Wile E. Coyote, maybe.
Except you. You can sing like you.
I can sing like me, and that's really, nobody's listening for that. But it really is, his rough voice is over this luscious mix of strings and orchestral elements. Just a fantastic, beautiful song. I think that should be in the in the playlist that we put there. If you're not listening to the playlist, folks, go and find The Book of Love by Peter Gabriel. You will not be disappointed.
Okay.
You will not be disappointed at all. Now, interestingly, he did the soundtrack for a film called Birdie.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and the director was a guy by the name of Alan Parker, who got on really well with Gabriel, and as you should. If you've got somebody doing something so important for your movie as the soundtrack, you really should get on with them. You know what he said about Peter Gabriel?
No.
He said, he's such a sweet man, such a refreshing change from working with megalomaniacs like Roger Waters.
Nailed that.
Isn't that beautiful? That's just wonderful stuff. If you like Peter Gabriel or you want to find out more about him, he has his own website called petergabriel.com.
Yep.
And it's got info about how he did all of his albums, special stories about what happened during the production, why he did certain things, pictures, all the usual stuff you have on your own ego project. But it's really nicely done, well written, and it's not. Here's a photo of me with this. Here's a photo of me with this. Here's a photo of me with the Queen. That sort of thing. It's really well done and very well written. So petergabriel.com. Go and have a look.
Okay. Look, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much, Mick. It's been he's a fan. We're both fans of Gabriel, so it was really enjoyable to do that. So thank you very much, everybody. Remember, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, email us if you want to have a chat, and that's it. Bye for now.
Thanks, Mick. Thanks, Fat Man. I feel better already.